Okay, so these special factoring patterns, this is worth memorizing. This is worth memorizing. How do you know what a to the third plus b to the third is? Well, there's a formula. And we can talk about it a little bit, help you make sense of it. If it's plus, then the first term's going to be plus, and the second term's going to be negative. However, if it's negative, then the first one's going to be negative, and the second one's going to be positive. Other than that, it's the same thing. So if you look at the signs, if you think about what makes sense, if it's a positive, if they're added together, the first term is going to be a plus b. If it's subtracting two cubes, a cubed take away b cubed, then the first term's going to have a minus b. If you remember that, you're all good, and everything else is the same and kind of predictable. You know you're going to have a times a squared to get a to the third. So some of that's kind of predictable, and hopefully you can remember that. It would be beneficial to you to remember that. Because it's one thing to start with the right. You can go over here. You can make that happen, but it's a little trickier when you're given what's on the left and they ask you to go to the right. That's a little harder. And so this would be worth memorizing. So here's an example. We have x to the third. That's our, let's see if I can write, a to the third. There we go. And this 64, let's see, 4 times 4 times 4, so 4 to the third. And I guess I should keep it the same. I should say x to the third and 4 to the third. Well, you know, a is equal to x, so and b is equal to 4. Okay? So the first thing we're supposed to write is a plus b, so x plus 4. You can see they did that down here. And then the next thing I'm supposed to write is a squared. Well, that's x squared. And then it's plus, so now it's time for the negative. The negative has to go somewhere, so now it's negative. And I just say a times b, so that's just 4x. And then plus b squared, which is 4 times 4 is 16. All right, so you can see how they applied it. The first thing we had to do is figure out what a was and what b is. Okay, so once we see that, then there's no stopping us. And again, if it's negative, the first term's going to be negative, and then the second term's going to be positive. Okay? So when we come down here to our example, we're going to say, I know that whatever this is supposed to be a to the third, you know. If I'm doing this example, it must be like this, you know. Sometimes we just see a problem and we don't know it's a to the third and b to the third. And we have to spot that. We have to see that it's that way. And it is. Let's see. A is going to be equal to 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. And, of course, n times n is n to the third. And then B, 216. Oh, boy, 216. What is that? Well, I know it's not 2. And I know it's not, let's see, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 4 gives me 64. 5 gives me 125. 6. What is 6 times 6 times 6? You know what? I think it's 216. And here's a problem that they picked out, so it's got to be. And it is. Okay, so B is equal to 6. All right. So now that we know that, we just do the formula. A plus B, that's the first thing, a to the third plus b to the third is equal to a plus b times a squared, remember. Oh, I was going to say plus, but it's not plus. Remember, minus has to go somewhere. Just plain old a times b plus b squared. This is the formula that I said it would be beneficial to memorize. So let's see here. 125 n to the third plus 216 is equal to, what's a? Well, it's 5n. What's b? Well, it's 6. Times, what's a squared? Well, that's 5n times 5n. That's 25n squared. And then a is 5n and b is 6, so that's 30n. Plus b squared. 6 squared is 36. Okay, that's it. I got it. There it is right there. I don't know. I think I'm messing it up. But anyway, there's my answer. There it is. Okay.